Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akantamantalakaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darishtam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Saganavadu, Saganopanaktu, Sakaviryam Karvavakai, Tejasvina Madidamastuma Vatvishavake. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will take a detour from the sages this week. We will learn about something very important, what Bhagavan Shankara gives in 2 words, a promise for the mankind. 2 words, when it is applied, when it's absorbed, when it is practiced, when it's complied, it transforms one's life. And this is universal. This is for the mankind. So what are those 2 words? The 2 words are Bhajagovindam. So I thought today we will take a very quick, brief view of this very popular hymn or Prakarana Grantha. It is very well known, and especially after M.S. Subbulakshmi singing that song so beautifully. But our objective is to really understand what is that promise that he gives. The very word, the words Bhajagovindam, for many of us know, it means it is to worship, adore, pray to Govinda. Of course, if I'm a very passionate Vaishnavite, I will say, therefore, Shankara is a Vaishnava. We pray that. That's fine. But someone who sees Shankara reciting Shiva Bhujangam, they'll say he's a Saiva. The Tarkavadis will look at it and say, no, Shankara is a Sankhya. Or when he talks about the Maya, Mithya, the scholars will say Shankara was a Buddha. So this is the value of Advaitam. Advaitam is all pervasive. It is in every part of the progress. Therefore, when we say these 2 words are universal, this cannot be just limited by a path or a sect, a class. But then, how can it is applicable to someone who is worshipping Shiva or worshipping Jesus, or even who doesn't worship God at all? How can it be universal? So therefore, if these 2 words, Bhajagovindam, is a universal key words for our emancipation, for our progress, it must be pregnant with meaning. So that is what we wanted to understand. So this is supposed to have written by Bhagavan Shankara. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshadi Dukrum Karane. It goes like this. Everybody knows this song. Now this is a Pravagam of Ganges. Now we are standing at the periphery of it. We are at the shore of it. So let us get a few things out of the way. First of all, we need to understand how it is universal. these two words? Is it written by Shankara? This is one of the questions, because normally it is, every time it is asked, when you see, we start this discussion very briefly on the premises that if anything great given about the Vedanta Advaita, it is Shankara. We stop it there. But nevertheless, there are scholars who discuss about it in great length. They look at the metrics of this Sostra. This is it's called Matra Chandas. It's got a 16 syllable. The first one, the Bhajagovindam, this particular verse is short of the 2 syllables. So they argue, therefore, the Vyakarna master, Shankara, wouldn't have done it. It's so simple. Or there are verses inside, they call the previous 12 as the Dvasas Manchari, written by Shankara. Bhagavan Shankara is not known to have put his mudras in any shlokas. So therefore, it may be written by somebody else in Shankara's name. Or they even go further and analyze it. The first 12 or 13 comes from Bhagavan Shankara. The rest come from different disciples who followed him. Therefore, it is a collection of Guru telling the teacher, the teacher telling the students, and students collaborating with us. We don't need to dwell deeper into this discussion. We take it as the essence of Vedanta that is coming from the Shankara, the Paramaguru. He teaches to the disciples. There is another little debate. Everybody knows about this particular verse, the hymns, is in the context of a story. Bhagavan goes along the path of the narrow street of Kashi, Varanasi, with his disciples following him, 14 of the disciples following him. In the narrow street, when he's passing through, and he sees in a house, in the outside portico, a very old man is practicing Dwadapad, Dukrum Karne, Dukrum Karne, Dukrum Karne. Like A for apple, B for biscuits, like this. He's practicing this Dwadapad. And therefore, Bhagavan Shankara calls him Mudamate, oh, a fool. And then he imports this wonderful Vedanta. Maybe it has happened. I do not know. Maybe it has not happened. We don't know. If it happened, why he calls him a Muda? Is Vyakarnam is a bad thing to do? Because Vyakarnam is very important to study Vedas. Even if somebody learns Vyakarnam at the age, won't it help him? So this kind of questions people are asking. And other scholars do samadhan for this. This is out of compassion, Even in the Muntoga Upanishad, you say Ishtabhurtam Manyamana Varishtam Nanichireyo Vedayante Pramudaha. Upanishad calls you Muda. By calling somebody Muda or fool is not an insult. It may be out of compassion, anugraham. We're going to see why this Mutamate is our virtue, in quotes. So therefore, Bhagavan would have given in a compassionate mode, addressed him like this. But death is not just for old people. That can come for anybody. So why is he addressing to the old people as if the old man is going to die? So therefore, we take it as a universal one. The context, I've got a very good, fit for purpose. We will see how. So therefore, you can take the story as it is. So this is a gentle chiding by the Guru. We see the Padartham right now. but it could be for the universal learning. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Mutamate. So if you have to do Anvayam, if you split it, O Mudamate, Govindam Bhaja, Govindam Bhaja, Govindam Bhaja. So we need to understand a few words. First, the word Bhaja. You know, in Sanskrit, you know, we need to really, I don't want to go into grammar because I'm not truly qualified to talk about it, and it's not necessary, but a few things you need to understand. You have something called a parasmai patam and atmena patam. You know, when you take a verb, you know, Sanskrit language, the spoken language evolved much faster than the construct of it. So there's the genius of Panini to re-engineer certain things to fit, to give a structure to this flow. That's why even Shruti doesn't really follow some of those Panini sutras. But largely the Sanskrit, the beautifully structured language, has got sutras. And everything got a root. So the root is like a seed of a banyan tree, you know. It is small, but it can flourish. And the verb is taken as the important point. You know, verb is action. The world is full of action. Everything is in action. Whereas a noun is a naming something. It has got some purpose, but it doesn't do anything. Verb is what it does. Therefore, the verb is the main part. It's called a verb root. And when it is constructed, it is constructed in so many different ways. You know, there are 10 different tenses, you know, like we have the past, present, future in English. But in Sanskrit, we've got 10 tenses. Lakaraga is called. At least 4, 5, 6 of them are very important. Different moods, imperative, all that. Manaschithi. But important is, when you do something for yourself, that verb is called Atmanepatam. So I'm cooking for myself. Pachami. I cook for myself. But when you say pache, means it's called Parasmaipadam. That means you're doing the action for somebody else. I'm cooking for my daughter. So I cook for myself is different from I cook for my daughter. So same way, Bhaja, this word, comes from the root called Bhaj. So I pray. I pray for mankind. I pray. Bhaja dictionary will give you pray. Because again, if you take the root Bhaj, you can add so many suffixes to even to bring Pachami, to cook, to worship, to adore. But Bhagavan says, uses this in the root called Bhajat, Sevayam, to seek. That's a proper meaning for this. The Lakshyartham for the word Bhaja is to seek. Of course, you can do Bhaja in terms of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padaseva, Sakibhava, you know, Atmanived. There's so many 9, 10 different bhakti steps are there. You can apply all this. But here we take Bhaja means to seek, to search, to seek. To seek who? To seek Govinda. Of course, Bhagavad Bhagavad is very fond of Govinda. His Paladevada was Govinda, his Ishtadevada was Govinda. But more importantly, his Guru's name was Govinda Bhagavad Pada. So therefore, he starts with the Govindan. In fact, one of those Mahatma who wrote a Bhashyam for this, Swaram Prakasha Swamiji, he didn't have this first verse at all. Bhajagovindam is not there at all. But he does do a Mangalacharanam, and he talks about Govinda as the Govinda Bhagavan Patras, who is Shankara's Guru. But we also know Gopalam. Palaka means to protect. Gopal is one who protects the cows. Gau. The cow shabdam is about the cow. Pashu. Who protects the Pashu. So you see the Lord Krishna's picture full of cows around him. But Pashu denotes all the living beings, all the beings. That's why in Shiva is called Pashupati. So Gam Vintati iti Govinda. So one who protects the lives is Govinda. Go also means Indriyas. You know, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is a Gocharam. All these Indriyas are goes. Senses are goes. That who controls these Indriyas, but who cannot be seen by Indriyas, is Govinda. Mahavara Govinda. So, you know, Gadagangati. In the Sahasranam with Govinda. But there is also another, Go is also earth. You know, Bhagavan takes the earth from the Hiranyakshitan, bring it back to life. Govinda. But Go also means Mahavakya. Go also means Vedas. Gobim Vidyade Govindam. That which is known by the Vedam. That which is known by Mahavakyas. So therefore, here the Lakshyartham is seek that which is known by Mahavakyas, known by Veda Vakyas, known by Vedas, Vedantas, Upanishads. So we know that that is Brahman, Satyam, Anandam, Jnanam. So therefore, Bhajagovindam means seek the Brahman. But Veda also says, especially in Vedanta, we see that which is transcends all your senses, all your intellect, all your power, and that which bear the witness to all your activity, indwelling Atma is that Brahma. Therefore, Bhajagovinda means seek your Atma, seek the Atma, which means you search for your true nature within you. I remember, I think there's one I mentioned maybe in the one of classes before. The Veda Chudamani, Bhagavan says, Moksha Karana Samagriyam Bhaktirya Gariyasi. Samagriya means instruments. Moksha Karanam. To liberation, you need Bhakti eva Gariyasi. Bhakti is the devotion, is the essence for moksha. Everybody will jump on it. Jnanameva Kaivalyam. Bhagavan has been talking about the Jnanam all the time. Now he comes about Bhakti. Second line he says, Swaswarupa Anusantanam Bhakti Itya Abhidiyate. Bhakti is what? Swaswarupa Anusantanam. Just meditating upon your true nature. Anusantanam. So therefore, this correlation. The Bhajagovindam means, therefore, Atmajnanam. That you have to develop. That you have to meditate upon. How many times you should do it? He says Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam. 3 times. Is it 3 times? Is that what it means? Okay, it is repeated because you repeat it all the time. Let's take this is basically a Nama Japam, right? So we know Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam, we know Ajamila's life story. You know, it's a very pious and brahmachari. Then he got married, and then he goes to the woods, but he get hypnotized by a celestial woman, and supposed to be Urvasi, and she lives on the earth, and he marries her, forgets his wife, his karmas, and he bears 10 children, and he forgot everything. The whole life is wasted, squandered. But luckily, the 10th child is called Narayana. So when he's in the deathbed and he was about to die, and he's afraid of Yamadutas, so he calls Narayana, Narayana. And then he was saved, I believe. So this is how the myth, the legend goes. So we can take comfort from that. Therefore, it is just to have to say Narayana at the end of it in life. But you can't do it. You have to repeat it all the time in your life. This is going to come in the next line, but here, therefore, by repeating here 3 times, it means stressing the point that always meditate upon this. So therefore, if it is Atmajnanam, it is seeking the Brahman. It is not for a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaisya or a Vaishnava or a Saiva or a Hindu. It is for universally for everybody else. That is why it's a universal key. This particular question, who am I, have to be answered. That is a toll gate you need to come. No matter whichever path you take, this is the key question. What Bhagavan says is, unlock this door with this key from your life, from the beginning. If you don't do it, you'll have a problem. Why am I doing it? Why am I not doing it? Because motamate. Again, this word, motamate, is a compound word. See, first of all, don't take it as an insult, because this is anugraham. This word is, if somebody calls me a fool, that means they are going to correct me. But if I say it is a universal teaching, not for that storyline where this old man, then he's calling the whole humanity as motamate. Or is he telling to his mind itself? You can take both ways. If you take the first one or second one first. If I'm telling my mind that you are foolish, think about it. It's a very good technique to improve yourself. You remember we learned in Patanjali Yoga Sutra when we studied. One way to control the mind is to tell the mind. Speak to the mind. Oh, mind, don't think of going there. Don't get angry. Don't say bad words. Tell the mind. Because the moment you start telling the mind, you become the master of the mind. At least you know that you are not the mind. So this is how you start separating yourself from this Jiva Bhavam to Atma Jnanam. So therefore, if you take, Bhagavan is telling to the failing mind, the failing senses, oh mind, foolish mind, seek the Brahman, seek the Atma. That's also fine. Or he calls the whole humanity as modam. Is it correct to say? Yes. Because in the Adhyatma Vidya, what is Adhyatma Vidya? It's sounding very technically, very big word, right? It's very simple. In the whole world, the whole creation, you can split everything into 2 parts. If you remember Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you will know Purusha and Prakriti. But in our common sense, you can say that which is inert, that which is sentient. Now, all our knowledge, all our application, all our studies, all our education, all our research is on this jada, inert objects. Science is all about this. Maudiyam. Maudiyam is the foolishness. When the mind is with this Maudiyam, when you are in your looking for knowledge, looking for ways in the inert objects, that means you are following the Prakriti, which is essential for Laukika life, because you learn new things by looking at the behavior of certain things. But we never dare in science to look at the study of the sentient being. What is that awareness? What is this consciousness? Science doesn't do it. Therefore, here, modam means any knowledge, any application that you do on inert objects will be modam. You can also look at this differently. Why this modem comes in? Why am I looking after things that are in the inert? Because we are naturally Ichat Desha Samuddena Dvanta Mohena Bharata Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Sarge Shanti Parantapaka. Bhagavan says in Gita, 7th chapter. Dvanta Mohena, Dvantam. Dvanta means duality, differences. Bharata, oh Arjuna, because there are differences seen, you have moham. Moham is delusion. It is not the, psychoanalysis delusion, where a deluded person is who is acting abnormally in our normal worldly standard. There is a delusion in a very literal sense. Here, delusion in adhyatmic sense is when you have a viparita jnanam, that is delusion. The delusion is not just having crazy feeling, crazy thinking. Delusion is if you have viparita jnanam and if you believe in viparita jnanam, you are deluded. Am I deluded? Well, you ask yourself a few questions. Am I afraid of death? You just answer your mind, yes or no. Will I die? Are all my children's relatives, friends love me dearly? Would all this material property, everything that I have, is mine? If you keep answering yes to these questions, even if you go in an esoteric way, is the time, space, the world is real? Anything if you say yes, you are deluded. Well, I said to yes itself, I am deluded. Everybody is going to die. I'm going to die. All my children love me. I love them. True. But you can take each of those assertions that you say, yes, I don't need to prove it. You can prove yourself that is not true. In an esoteric way, the science believed many times the space and time is absolute. Now it is changed. Science says, no, they are not absolute. Delusion. So I have to live in this world. So don't I have to have this delusion? You may have to have the delusion. But the delusion should be like accepting sunrise and knowing sun doesn't rise. So we need to move away. Unless you move away from delusion, you cannot really get redemption. So that's the reason why he calls Mudamate. It is anugraham. This is what Bhagavan is doing. He's not scolding. Sometimes even scolding, Shabam becomes a blessing. Akalya got Shabam because of some issue with her husband. She became a stone. The Rishi's Shabam has made her to get Rama's feet on her head. Durvasha has a curse on Saraswati. In once the Durvasha was reciting the Vedas, and at one particular place, his Shabdam was not proper and Saraswati giggled. And therefore he does the Shabam. Catch the Shabam. You go on born in this earth as Ubhaya Bharati. But the blessing, because Ubhaya Bharati receives Lord Shiva as Shankara. Arjuna got a Shabam from Urvashi, no? He became a eunuch, nymph. But it helped him to perform the Ajnata Vasham. See, that's why don't get offended when, even out of love or even out of mistake, if elders, teachers, and great people scold you, the scolding has contained the blessing, it's a grace. So the Motamate is we don't have a problem. So we understood the first 2 sentences, 1.5 sentences. Seek the Parabrahma, seek within, seek the Atma, or attain the Brahma Jnanam, because I am deluded. Right. Why I should do this? If I am looking at things in this world, it's not by making. I am born like this. Bhagavan said just now in Bhagavad Gita, we heard, everybody is born like that. Why does it, in Rudram we say, vanchate, parivanchate, oh, efficient robber you are. We call Rudra. You are a stealer. You steal things. You steal my jnanam and made me suffer like this. So this moham is coming to me, inherent on me, without my effort. It may be. We can argue in 2 ways. And when you go in a law of karma, you can go in a vicious circle and say you inherited. But much easier way is, if God made this play, who can remove this play? Only God can remove this play. Therefore, you must go and surrender to God. Or I am the God. That's what you're saying. Then what do I do? Well, then you are deluded. Well, will I be deluded? If I am deluded myself, how I get out of it? See, delusion gives you experiences, largely bad experiences, grief. Because we know Shukam is Dukkham parading as happiness, right? So Shuka Dukkham is what we have. So I give an example. When you're dreaming, you dream you're suffering. So it's a bad dream, nightmare. What is the medicine for it? Can your guru come into your dream and say, don't worry, you'll be fine? Can anybody help you when you're suffering in your dream? Only you can help yourself. How? Get out. Get out of the sleep. So only by getting out of the sleep, the dream goes away. So therefore, when you're getting out of the sleep, you get out of the delusion, moham. You're not going to argue, how did the dream come to me? I don't care. But I can get out of it. Same way, I don't need to worry about why am I suffering? It's in my karma, purva janma. God made me like this. Blame the God. No. It's like, searching for, how come I have this ignorance, I ask you a question. So suppose I ask you something which you do not know. And you say, oh, glad I know it now, you say. You can say, hey, didn't you know it? No, I didn't know it. Since when you didn't know it? You have no answer. Ignorance is another. Therefore, you say, okay, let me go and answer, research it. You want to go and spend your rest of your life finding out, when did I not know things? What's the point? But I can know it. Same way, I don't need to worry about why I have this delusion. But I know I can be out of this delusion. Like I come out of the dream. Therefore, I need 2 things. I need to have the See, this is all Dvaitam, right? This is essential Dvaitam. We must have Dvaitam. As long as you have the Srishti, if you have a Jiva Bhavam, you need a Bhagavan. If I am a Jiva, I need a Bhagavan. When I don't need a Jiva, that means I have an Atma Bodha. Bhagavan is not there anymore. Ekam Satyam. It's Advaita Anupati. But I'm not there. I am in this world. So delusion, I now understand. Everything I have in this world, forget about it, which country, which religion, whoever you are. Now you understand, delusion is Viparita Jnanam. Delusion creates Shokam. Shokam creates Samsaram. Therefore, I am despair. Now, like I come out of the dream, I can come out of this delusion. For that, I have to seek the true nature of myself. This is what we understood the first 2 lines. Now I want some solid benefit. What do I get? How do I know that this is actually working? Okay. So you must know how I'm going to do Bhajagovindam. You can do all this Nama Sangeetam, puja, everything you can do. Then it will all move into realizing yourself. Then you will start Atma Jnanam, Tattva Vicharam you will do. So you know how to do what is Bhajagovindam means, seeking the true nature of yourself. But how do I see I'm benefiting out of it? Bhagavan says, he hits he's always like this, goes and hits the root of it. Anything that I give you as a benefit to you will not be valued by you because your needs are changing. What is important to you today is not important to you tomorrow. Because one day you'll go and pray that this disease go off me. The disease gone. Then you say the next day you say, can I get that house? Can I get that car? So I am a vicious person. My mind is vacillating. My needs are not known to me. I go to my father and mother. My Jagat Mata, Jagat Pita is God. Guru, Tumeva Mata, Tumeva Pita. So I go to the Guru and say, look, I don't know what I need. Give me what I need. Then he says, well, I think about all this. I'll allow you to do the Laukika work to get what you need to get. Dharmartha Kamam, you can do that. But all your life's ambitions, pursuits will be driven by only one goal. What is that? Samprapte sannihite kale. Kale means here kalam, mrityu. Samprapte. This word, sam is very good. Prapte means attained. Very well attained, or that means it has come, it has happened. Obtained. What do you obtained? Sannihite. Sannihite means very near. When you are very near, you attain a place very near, what? Death. Now, you cannot take this to the old man in the story. We know that death is not something for the old people. Death is for everybody, anybody. It so happens, sometimes it happens in the old age. It can happen anytime. Everybody is worried about the death and not worried about the death. I say this very, very quickly, paradoxically. Yes, Bhagavan Ramana says, yes, we are worried about the death, but we are not worried about the death. Why I say not worried about the death? Because you don't think about it. Are you thinking about it now? No. When you're worried about it, you should think about it. I don't think about it. Even somebody is dead, I cry for 3 days, 4 days, 10 days. I forget. Of course, When Dharmaraja asked, Yudhishthira said, this is ajnanam. Not knowing that everybody is going to die, people are not realizing it. But Bhagavan Ramana says, it's not ajnanam. It is paripurna jnanam. Because in the heart of heart, you and I know we never die. That's why we don't have that fear. Of course, if you stay like this all the time, we don't need any of those stores. We don't need all this Vedas. We have that time what we need. But if we get fear of death, when we get problems, when you get disease, when you see some death, but we should contemplate on it. You know, I don't want to talk on Sunday about death, but death is also an important point to consider because that is a transformation of, see, when you go to sleep, who doesn't want to go to sleep? You go to the doctor and complain, I'm not getting sleep, my wife is sleeping, I'm not getting sleep. We invite sleep. Why? Because I want to get away from the delusion. I want to get away from all this attachment. Of course, our samskaras brings dreams and we get deluded in the dreams. Samskara makes it ignorant. We don't know what's happening in the dream, in the sleep. When we come back, we have pratyabhijna there, we have remembrance. We know, okay, I got up from my house. Next day starts. But that is death. It so happened, we come back to the same body, same thing, same problem or same happiness continues, same samsara continues. But we are not afraid to go to sleep because we somehow want to keep this body and then have a relationship in the families. Nothing wrong with this. As long as you want it, fine. But we know the body will go. Otherwise, Krishna would be living here with us. Rama will be here, embodiment. Even God, when he comes in, see all the Purana stories, the Asuras goes and do penance. First, you wanted to get everything. As soon as the God comes in, the fear comes to him. Please give me a boon that I will not die. See, what happened to all these other ambitions that he wanted to ask God? Fear. And invariably, I have never seen any God has given this boon. Including Lord Shiva has given some caveat. Because even God cannot change his own law. Bhoga ayatanam has to go. So knowing that, the body will go. Knowing the truth. Then our life has to change. Those of the people who do the tarpanams, there's one tarpana mandira comes in. Tarpana, when you do one of the rituals is that you take this darba grass and then you clean up this round. Ape devi devi sarpadado yattasta puranos nutana. It goes like this. It tells basically, oh, the messengers of death, who is staying here all the time, please get out of this place and time, because the Lord of Death has given me this space and time to do tarpana. It's got a lot of insight, this mantra is. What does it say? Firstly, it says, death is not coming to us on some day. Death is with us. Mrityu. Mrityuna, the body is, Sariram is death. Like Rama tells Bharata, death is holding your hand all the time. And the Tarpana Mantra says, during the Tarpana, go away. So when you do a sincere Tarpanam to the ancestors, as per your Dharma, one will not die during the time of Tarpana, for sure, because the messengers have gone. That's a Tatparyam of that. So what I'm saying, why I'm saying here is that therefore death is not something which is not here, taken a vacation, come to me at some days. It is always there. Therefore, when the death comes in, what happened? He says, nahi nahi rakshati dukkrim karane. So, go back to the story now. In the story, this man was memorizing dukkrim karane, dukkrim karane, dukkrim karane. Bhagavan says, nahi nahi rakshati. You can do nahi rakshati, nahi rakshati. Rakshati means it won't protect you. When you are near the death, when the death comes to you, what won't protect you? This act of practicing dukkrim karane. So in a very simplistic term, don't waste your time studying grammar, go and do Bhajagovindam. Well, one mindless bhajan to another mindless bhajan, is it? So I go mindlessly, say Rama, 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 Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Well, when you say mindlessly, you can take it in two ways. Recklessly, carelessly, uselessly. You cannot do it. But if you can really do mindlessly, that means your mind is not there. Only your sat buddhi is there. Then you are in a sampragyan samadhi. But you cannot go to that sampragyan samadhi unless you have the disciplines of namaparayanam, yogam, tattvajnana vicharam. Therefore, when you say this is no use, first of all, remember, he's not ridiculing Sanskrit grammar. Karnam is important to understand Vedas. He's not ridiculing that you should not do it in the old age because we know death comes in any age. Some people say, when you do the bhashyam for it, in this word, he has actually discarded all this knowledge of the world. Well, if I don't do any worldly knowledge, how am I going to do my Dravashastra Dharma? I have other Veda asks me to do Panchayagyam every day. If I don't have money, food, how can I feed everybody else? So what does it mean? So Bhajagovindam means it's not sitting there and say Govinda, Govinda all the time. It is converting our lifestyle as a seeking Govinda, seeking the Parabrahman. That means every act that we do, every word that we speak, every company we keep, every thought that comes true is about this Atma Jnanam only. That means you can be a bus driver driving it, you have an Atma Jnana inside. So nothing gets stopped. Dharma goes in as it is. That's why you don't fiddle around Dharma and then you do something else. You coexist with Dharma. Now, why is this say dukkrim karane? I'm afraid I need to go back to Sanskrit again, grammar again a little bit. So there's something called dhatu pada. So dhatu is a root word. So as I told you before, potentially I got some 4,000 dhatus, maybe 2,400 are very prominent, maybe few hundreds are being used. The dhatu is the very, very finite atomic sound. By decorating the sound with the prefixes and suffixes, certain rules, you create a useful word. It could be a verb or a noun, doesn't matter. This is called a dhatus or verbs, but it's everything. From that the word comes. So ja, for example, jan is a to be born. Jagat, Janma. Like that, every word you take, you can go back to the root. So one such root word is kru or dukru. Dukru. See, don't try to understand, don't go to Sanskrit dictionary to find the meaning of it. No, it's like, it's a meta words. Now, if you know computer language, HTML pages, the HTML pages, you have a lot of tags, lot of words, you will never use it. Those words are used to wordsmith the main text. Like that, Pawnini has used a lot of things, a lot of sounds, a lot of words. Those words cannot be used in the communication, but used to define the sutras. So dukrum is a verb. I told you the words comes as a parasmai patam and atmena patam. Atmena patam is when I do for myself. Bhaja. Bhajami. I do for others. Pachami, I cook for others. But there is another word which is neither for myself or not for others, or for both. It's called Ubhayapatam. So I will not go deeper into this. So the kru, this dhatu is Ubhayapatam. From this kru comes in like a seed. If you take it up, karma, karta, karana. So when you in the dhatu padam, what the students learn is what is the dhatu and what is the meaning of it. So when it is given like this, it's called Aupatesika form. Aupatesika form is giving instruction form. It gives you the dhatu and the meaning. Dukrum karane. Dukrum is a dhatu. Karane is a meaning. Like H2 hydrogen, you by got it, like H2 means hydrogen. So dukrum is karane. The root dukrum or kru gives the meaning of karane, to act, perform. So therefore, why did he choose this dhatu? There are so many dhatus. Arch bhajami. Arch means the dhatu. Arch pujayam. Arch means archana. You can say nagi nagi rakshadi. Archun pujayam. You could have said it. Maybe it doesn't fit the meter. No, but I think the important point is Bhagavan is bringing, relating to the Bhajagovindam. Bhajagovindam means seeking the God, seeking the Brahman, seeking the Atma, Atma Vicharam, Tattvajnana Nishta. Now, to do that, what's the method? You immediately ask the question, how do I do the bhajan? They'll say, okay, sing this song, or listen, mananam, likitam, right? Sri Ramajayam, right? 200 times. Do this archana. So we bring in the religiosity. I'm not criticizing it at all. I do that as well. But this is all preparing us to go to the true Atma Vichara. But here we are talking about the universal appeal. Not a Hindu, not a Christian, not a Saivite, not a Vaishnavite. So Atma Jnanam, I want to understand. But then our thinking is whenever you want to attain something, I must do something, right? So you ask the question, what do I do? You want to wipe clean the whole thing. Anything to do is karma. Where does the dhatu comes from? Dukring. So by saying, the literal meaning is don't practice this, repeating the words dukrum karane. The lakshyartham is don't bother about doing things in the world. And no action can give you Atma Jnanam. Nothing will do that. What does it mean? If I don't do anything, then how am I going to do this? I said, well, the Atmic Jnanam is not coming to you. If it is coming to you, what will happen? It will go away. Because what comes in will go away. It is not something you understand it, because if you understand it, it is an object of understanding. an object of knowledge. If an object, it is drishyam. Remember Patanjali? Drishyam. Go away, it will diminish. So I cannot understand, I cannot attain it. So what is it? If I had to tell you in your word, in your terms of objective way, it is Siddha Vastu. It's already attained, already known. It's already there. It's already in you. It is you. Now, what do I have to, I don't realize it. Okay, this is a better word, realize. You don't realize it because you have delusion. No? Like if a diamond is under the rock, you don't know this until you take out the rocks. So how do I take out all this muck around me? Well, now I tell you, Dukkram Karane. For that, you can do all that. Do Karma Yoga. Again, you see, you have to listen to this very carefully because I do Karma Yoga, so I do an action, right? Then you cannot say action is not helping me. Well, if you do an action with the view that I am doing an action, it will not help you. Why? Because when I say I do an action, I take the result of the action, I get Papa Punya. I will not get Atmajnana. Then what do? I do the action as if I'm not doing it. That means I do completely detached. I do as a Karma Yoga. So then do I do action or not? I am not doing action. It happens. Is the sun giving light or not? No. Sun is there, light is there. The flower, the tree gives flowers or not? No, tree is there, flower comes, flower is there. Like that, when the inaction becomes the true nature of yourself, but everything gets, dharmam goes through, that is fine. So that's why he says, this is, maybe it's wrong, but this is how I see it. So Dukkram Karane is specifically used because all the karmas that you do can only make you a better person in the mind, but you still have to do the Atma Vicharam. Again, that's an action of going to the gurus and learning it. And when you do the Atma Vicharam, you actually seek this God. So the whole Bhajagovindam, therefore, gives you all the benefits. If you are a very simple-minded person like me, I want some salvation, Bhajagovindam. I believe in God, I sing Bhajagovindam. I don't need Sastra Jnana. I will get the right track. I am a Tarkavadi, I want to think about it. Yes, you argue, you tell you the means to get forward. I am a Vedanti, I understand it, therefore I was going Atma Vicharam. With Atma Vicharam, I know delusion is not my own making. God has given me. There's no point in proclaiming, I am an Advaiti, I don't look at it. It's nonsense. Advaitam is an Anubhuti. You still, as long as you have in this world an existence and see differences, you need Bhagavan, you need Bhakti, you need Namachapam. So that's what you should understand from this. But what happens when you understand this, you improve, your attitude change. I'll finish in a couple of minutes. If, there's a story where a prince was kidnapped as a child. And then after he's grown, he's joined the dacoits and robbers and he's stealing and all the bad things he do. He grows up into a young man. And somehow the minister has found him and brought him back to the palace. But since coming to the palace, he's still stealing things, And he says, no, it's all yours, don't steal it. But the habit doesn't die. Vedanta is like this, it tells you are that. But we are still stealing things, we are still going around. Then the minister tells him, look, I will tell you one way to get out of this delusion, that you are still a robber. That behave that you are the prince. Just behave. Every day morning, get up, just play act. You are a robber. That's what you believe in. But behave as if you're a prince. Order around. When you do that, when he does it, it becomes his nature. So that's the reason why sometimes we should behave as if we are that purity. We are the purity, but we don't know it. But behave as if you are purity. The moment you behave you are a purity, would you pour that whiskey in your body, or you pour the bad thoughts into your body, into your mind? No. So bhavam is very important. Bhakti is important. Bhakti without bhavam is waste. So bhavam is important. But when it happens, you can say, look, I have been trying many, many years. Now, whatever you're saying, everything I know, I've been doing this many years. I don't see the God's grace. Don't worry. If you see Ganges or in a river that flows from the river, mountain, it comes around, goes around. Some places it is arid, dry. Some places it's polluted. But it doesn't give up. It perseveres. It wants to go to the sea. We are like that. Human life is like this. We are born somewhere. We don't know where we're born, but we are traveling in this path of life. We get polluted. We get dry. We get weakened. But don't lose your might. But if you actually look at it, if you go to the Triveni Sangamam or any place where the river meets the ocean, in fact, I would say even before you go to the merging point, even before the merging point, 2, 3, 4 miles before, you will see the sea water is coming towards the river. It always happens. Geologically, it is proven. Sea water comes towards the river. The river water gets salted even before 3, 4 miles away. And then it takes him away. The river loses its identity. It becomes one with the sea. That's how the Parabrahman does. The moment we struggle hard, strive hard, seek the Atma, seek the Parabrahman, do whatever we need to do, whatever path we take. When you do it, you will start realizing it. You are changing. That means God's grace is endowing upon you. Like the sea coming and inviting the river, God will take us. In other words, the Atma will completely envelop us. That's what Mahabali wanted, no? Mahabali was, and Bhagavan's Vishnu stands in front of him, give me this third land from the third foot. And Mahabali's mantri is telling him, don't do this. This little boy is going to swallow you up. And Mahabali says, that's what I want. I want to be swallowed. So what we need is like the sea swallowing the river. We need to be swallowed by this Parabrahma. So that's what I think the import of this Bhajagovindam. In a simple way, I wanted to explain to you how much of Vedantam is pregnant in this. That it gives you benefit even without knowing the Vedantam. I'm not a singer, so I don't know how to sing it, but I think many of us would know it. Singing every day, this at least the first 8, 10, 9 verses is giving you peace. Let me stop it here. Om Sadoma Sadgamaya
Sadoma Sadgamaya
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya
Matyoma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hari Om. Tassat. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajan.
Thank you, Rav.
Thank you.